Whoever made that account. Well done on the team troll. Oh, and that was the metal one. Okay. Is it every one of these is metal? Yes. That was a bad idea. Yep. Oh, right into the lava. Perfect. Oh, that was a tasty morsel. I'd love to get my tentacles around her. Slurp. I felt dirty saying that. Oh. Oh, what the hell? This is my run speed. Oh my god. No, no, no. Real quick, just to show you what we just unboxed. Camera, will you come with me? All the way down. Over here. How far down can you go? There we go. Just a few boxes.
Garlic on it.
And in true YOLO style, we should loot the body.
Hey, no, get your mitts off of me. Get your
What do we have here? Ooh, a scroll of hold
pockets.
person. Look, YOLO, this is a scroll of cuddling.
Get out of here. No. Get out of my pockets.
Julian, how's it going over there?
There's blood.
Whoa. The camera. This is fun. This is a new effect. Hi. We're dropping frames. Everything's crazy. My power just flickered out. And this might be the coolest effect ever, and I don't think that I could replicate it if I wanted to. Obviously, with the power flickering, everything is struggling just a little bit right now. What's up, bud? He's a little mad at me. We ran out of special kitty food. And he's pretty certain that this is the last cat that we didn't feed special food. I'm like, that cat got only kibble too. Okay, that's a really cute cake. I want a birthday cake like that.
Happy birthday to
I
you.
want better singers.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
We forgot your name. Happy birthday to you. I found spikes. I found more spikes. Shoot. Whoops. No. That was one determined little bomb there. Oh my god. No. 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 Ah! That doesn't count, does it? Did you hear that they found fossils of giant leviathans that once lived in this land? It's true. How many, you ask? Not one, not two, but 3 giant fossils. Just waiting for me to say hello. And it can be yours too for just 3 easy installments of $19.99. Oh, My Little Pony hair. Let me check this.
Though sorry, just cheered 19 bits. Here, take my last bit.
Thank you, Samsara, for your last biddies. It doesn't have the glitter of rarity, but I will say, yes, this is My Little Pony here. And for the mobile folks out there, as you may not know what we're talking about, we just got rated on Twitch, so there's more conversation happening on that side. My Little Adventure. I can't believe that I read that and the My Little Pony song popped into my head from way back. Name her Rarity? Done. You were told that I was lost and you came to help. Well, I appreciate that so much. I am very, very lost, and I've never been happier about it in my life. We played Fatal Frame last Halloween, and it wasn't very scary. What are you barking about? You have water on your head. Is it raining outside? Are you trying to get me to change the weather again? I told you, only once a month. If we do more than that, it messes up the balance of the world. I'm sorry, you have to deal with the rain for like 4 more months. You've already covered me in fur. The joys of having a husky and wearing velvet.
And there's your guidance.
Woo.
Oh.
Oh, we needed a 4 to get there.
So close.
I will try again.
Again?
That was the wrong way.
One more?
Yeah,
Again?
why
Better break
not?
the
I
sword,
mean,
so.
we have
Let's
it.
go.
Use it.
YOLO. What are you doing?
Rude.
Last
Think was
one?
that- Do we have another one?
Yeah, there's one more.
Okay, let's do it.
Come on, everybody.
All in.
Go on.
Let's go.
No!
I see that.
Crash
pop up.
must be near. I must interrogate this Zoru. Our very lives depend on it.
Well, hello. We'll go ahead and turn that music down for those of you over on Twitch. None of the other platforms get the music, I hope. But apparently Twitch gets everything I'm sending to the other platforms. So sorry about that. Make sure. Yes, only one set of voices in my head at this time, which is good. If anybody is out there listening on the TikTok side, if you could let me know if it's like doubled or tripled or quadrupled up. I don't know. We've got it running through its own canvas over to TikTok. I should have TikTok chat open this time. Last time we connected like this, TikTok would not let me read chat because we're not going through the TikTok live studio anymore. We're actually using OBS directly. And so, yeah. But Kale, it's good to see you. Congrats on jumping up on the early crew podium. It put you in the 3rd spot, but you're really, number 1 here. I don't know. We streamed twice in all of June. I have been home. This is like my 3rd time coming home since May. I'm here for 1 day. I'm leaving again tonight. At least that's the plan. I may end up staying tonight. I don't know. I might change my mind at the last minute and stay. Sassy, hello, and thanks for redeeming that early crew. We'll see if it behaves. Everything's a little delayed and it's just not behaving 100%, but it's here. We're here. We're back. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. It's good to see everybody. It has been absolutely wild. We rushed home on the 25th, which was really hard. So for anybody that knows, I've been staying with my friend and I've been helping out with the kids. And the 25th, I had planned over a month in advance. It ended up being the oldest kid's birthday. So it was really tough leaving. Luckily, I talked to her about it. I wished her happy birthday earlier in the day and I let her know what my plan was. And she's like, no, it's okay. Like, you don't have to feel bad. Like, go do your stream, do your thing. Oh, Sammy. Welcome back to Getting Caught with her head. And as always, thank you for trying to paint the roses. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, so I rushed home. We did a little bit of Slay the Princess, and it was pointed out to me that I don't often do that. That the way it was said was that that's kind of the opposite of my normal mode. We did not slay the princess. We definitely were of the mind that why are we slaying the princess, and why do we care if she destroys the world and everything? Maybe it's time to burn everything down. So yeah. Also, why am I drinking water out of a disposable water bottle? Because I haven't been home in a month, and like there is nothing here that isn't terrible, and yeah, it's rough. You thought it was a vodka bottle? No, this is a water bottle. I promise, this one's water. I will not be drinking straight vodka on stream, now or ever. Straight whiskey? Yes. Straight vodka? No. And not today. I have to drive at the end of this, so coward. Look, I know what my taste buds like, and vodka is not it. I don't have any straight whiskey right now, I don't think. No, I'm pretty sure that I only have pre-mixed old fashions. But hi. I'm just like goofy. No, so I was saying I came home. Oh, Kale, no worries. I'm super stoked that you were able to pop in, and it's good to say hi. It's good to see you. I hope things are well for you. Yeah, life has been absolutely crazy, and I'm trying to figure out like how do I navigate it right now, and what am I doing with myself? Because if anybody knows, it's not me. I definitely have no idea what I'm doing. It's been wonderful though. I've been just kind of helping out with the kids and hanging out, spending a lot of time with them. It's been really fun. We went out to, let's see, since I last streamed. No, we went to my brother's house for like his wedding reception, and took 3 of the kids that time. And they had a blast. They had a bouncy house and the trampoline and just got to play. And then last weekend, I went to look at a trailer on Saturday, and my plan was just to see if I was going to buy it or not. I decided against it, mainly because it's not quite what I want. It's too big to tow with my current car. So that would involve, if I kept it, getting a truck or borrowing a truck every time I needed to move it. So that's not good. And then it was not big enough to be what I wanted if I wanted a bigger trailer, because then I want to make sure that there's space for everyone. So I was like, it's too big for just me and not big enough for everybody. So it was sitting in this weird spot. I thought about buying it and flipping it and maybe pocketing some profit off of it, but how much time is it going to take to sell it? Where am I going to park it? Who's going to move it for me? I was just like, yeah, this is a lot, and it's more than I want to decide on right now. So I passed on it. But my brother ended up having a barbecue that day, and I'd met up with him when I was going to look at the trailer because he knew the people and was introducing me. So we took a look at it, and then he invited us over for the barbecue. So it was just me and the boys, and took them over, and they ended up playing in the river and going for a long walk up the river and getting a lot of their energy out. Spent a ton of time on the trampoline again and just had a blast. And then we did a family trip to Pride. That was so much fun. It's a little stressful taking that many kids to Pride, but it was good. We drove down, we took the train, the monorail, hung out at Seattle Center for a bit, played in the fountain. Like, we had a blast. And then monorail back to the train, to the car to drive home. And so it was a very, very long, full weekend. So that was last weekend. That was all just last week, like the last week and a half. So yeah. And Sammy, you can't stay long. You decided to sign up for a I'm guessing there's a typo here. I'm not sure if you meant mermask or mermaid hike to a waterfall, and you'll have an icy swim there. That sounds very icy. A winter swim in a waterfall. That's going to be chilly. I think it'll be a little more chilly than you're used to out in the ocean, but maybe not. I hope that that goes wonderfully and is a very fun outing. That sounds like a fun time. Oh, Mermask is what the groups are called. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, very fun. I was like, I don't know. Because I saw the typo before it. I just assumed. But very fun. I hope that that's great. You are going to miss a little bit of this. You've been in a mountain stream before. Okay. I don't know how it'll be there. The coldest like water I have swam in was glacial runoff. So like the ice melting off a glacier flowing down a creek. And it was really funny. I was 15. Yeah, I was 15 at the time. So that was cold enough. I was like, no, I don't need to do that again. But my dad, my brother, my uncle, and I, we hiked down this trail, and it's about 6.5 miles hiking in. You hope so too. You're going alone, but we'll meet people there. Well, good. So we hike down this trail, and you kind of drive up this mountain and then hike down to get to the spot where we camped and hung out. And we did a little bit of fishing, a little bit of gold panning. And then my uncle dared me to jump in because it's really, really cold. And we pick our spot that we're going to jump in, and it's deep enough and we're good. And we pick how we're going to get out. And there's 2 little spots to get out on the either side of this big rock we're going to jump off of. And one of us is going to swim upstream just a few feet and get out. And the other is going to swim downstream just a few feet and get out. So we jump in together at the same time. And neither of us remember this plan that we have just like spent the last few minutes talking about. We both turn around and immediately try to scramble back up the rock that we jumped off of. We were so cold. Finally, we realized that is not possible. We knew that before we went in, but like the brain just shut off the moment that cold hit. And after a few moments, we were able to get out and it was fine, but whew, it was chilly. Granted, we were on the 3rd day, so we hiked in, then camped for a couple of nights, and then we're going to hike back out. And so we were just like, yeah, this is like a bath. It's fine. No, it was a terrible idea. But it was a really cool spot where we camped at. Like I said, it was quite a hike in. It's one of the more difficult hikes in my state, and only about a dozen people make the trip each year. And we were 4 of those people that year. So there's a bunch of parts along the way where you have to clear the trail, and you can see where others have cut down some brush and things like that. But we had to push our way through. And once you find your way down, there's an old like 3-wall building with these wooden bunks, and the wooden bunks are completely covered in moss. And there's this old cast iron cauldron sitting next to a fire, just like a fire pit. And it was a gold miner's cabin, like in the 17 or 1800s. And he used to take a donkey coming back and forth from Seattle up to this place and dropping off stuff. It's ridiculous that they were even able to do that. It's right up by the Canadian border. Granted, you can get to it easier by coming in from the Canadian side because it's flat, but there's a military range on where that flat area used to be. So it's not really a spot that you hike through. International borders and military activity, not good. But the hike down is an adventure, and we really had fun. But this is so many years ago. I have not been backpacking like that in a very long time. I was thinking about it recently, how fun it would be. Also, that it would be good to just have a bug out bag and be ready to do that in case, the world does what the world is doing now. So yeah. Not that I've, given tons of thought to where I would go if I had to live in the woods. I'll let you all know if I go. Hey, TZ Starwind, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. So what are we doing today? I am basically just streaming because I'm home. I haven't had a lot of time to think about what we're going to do with ongoing streams and how this is all going to work. My schedule has just been a little wonky and I haven't been spending a lot of time here. So this computer obviously is sitting here, but I have not been here to sit with it. So that's been kind of tough. I just want to test something real quick. It helps if I actually spell that correctly. Okay, well, the message came through anyways, even though I spelled it wrong. There we go. And let me ask one other person something real quick. Okay. So yeah. You can see that my TV is on in the background for a change. Piper's actually hanging out with Nika today because they haven't gotten to see each other for a while. So while she's hanging out, she's got the TV and stuff as well and is just chilling here. But yeah, so we're going to play a game and I took a look at every game that I had. Correction. I took a look at every game that I had in Steam. I didn't bother looking at the unplugged Xbox or the PlayStation that's on the floor back there or the Switch that's not even here. And I decided on one of our next games, I think the most recently redeemed, in fact, the Stanley Parable. I was like, you know what? This is a funny game. It's enjoyable. I think this will be a good time. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm just going to hope that the audio is working correctly across all of these things. So, what? I'm not on TikTok? Huh, interesting. It says that I'm pushing live over there. Well, if I'm not, I could make it happen, but it should be already. I know. I'm sorry, Sammy. I was like, this is a Sammy request of all of the days to have an adventure, right? A Saturday. Who could imagine? If it makes you feel any better, it was either going to be this or Bug Snacks. So I kind of had to make the call. So I'm not. Are you making me go back to the studio? Because Sammy redeems good games. It's all good. You'll watch the VOD. Okay, good. I'm going to try and get TikTok open, even if I have to do it through the studio. Because it thinks that it's live over there. With vertical. It did this last time. It actually went live and then kind of behaved weird. But the TikTok live studio is so obnoxious. It's fine. It should be set up now to let me at least pass a virtual camera over there. Okay. That's fine. Oh, you're on the other camera. It's weird when it's just a slightly different angle. It's like, what am I looking at? Well, we're going to game. So we'll just pull the game over and make this as easy as we can. What audio are you picking up? My microphone and my game. Perfect. Okay. Add source. game. Select game. Stanley Parable. Yes, capture my cursor. Add source. Perfect. There you are. And of course you have more stuff. Copy, paste. Don't mind me. Grr. Okay. Okay, there we go. That'll work. What else do I need to do on this side of things? Oh, yep. It did not bring over the detail. Interesting. Okay. Live info will be reviewed when you go live. Well, thanks, TikTok. Okay. God, my house is a disaster. Yes, go live. Okay, hopefully now we're actually live over on the TikTok side, and we should have the TikTok live chat also, so I'll put that over here. And yeah, fingers are crossed. And yep, now my other chat connected to TikTok too, so we should be live on all three. And we can go to game over here. Make sure that OBS is playing along. It is wonderful. Okay. One more update and then we are good to go. We can bring the music off, bring the game audio up. Okay. So yeah, so we're going to play the Stanley Parable. I have never played this. I've watched only a little bit of it. I know that it's a little bit of a trolley kind of game. So it will be making fun of us as a good game would do. Yeah. So I hope you all will join us on this little journey today. Have a little fun. I have to keep remembering that there's two cameras up here. And yeah. Why does my bot now think that I'm not live on YouTube? What are you doing? Nope, just my chat bot is being dumb. Okay, cool. That we can handle. That's going to be just fine. Speaking of YouTube, just as of this morning, we have finished publishing all of Oxenfree 2. So that's fun. What we've got there is we've been publishing all of our VODs little by little over on the YouTube side, and we've just finished, like I said, publishing all of Oxenfree 2. And starting tomorrow, will be our live playthrough with Samsara Dusty of Split Fiction. It's broken up into 36 small consumable parts. There's a couple of long ones at the beginning, but then it gets really like shorter. Some of them are only like 7 minutes long when we get into like the side quests and stuff. Others are an hour of us talking nonsense. So you'll be able to check those out on YouTube starting tomorrow morning, coming at you every day through the rest of the month. I'm really excited about this one. Every time that playthrough comes up, it's just so much fun. So highly recommend popping over to YouTube and checking that out. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the game here and find out what we're getting. And if you're watching out there on whatever platform, let me know if any of the audio is weird for you. I hope not, but I can't listen to the monitor on all three of the services that we're streaming on. And TikTok, I think, is the one that kind of has its own system altogether. So we'll see. All right, let's go in. The end is never the end is never the end. Okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
Very
Orders
exciting.
came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
Okay.
And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Just push buttons.
Stanley
Okay.
was
I mean, that seems a lot like my job.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to
Just
follow.
sitting forever.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. Where are we going here? Oh, we are in control. Fantastic. And hello. Yeah. No. Sorry about the shake there at first. I don't know if this will work with controller and be any smoother. I hate Mondays. Uh-huh. Okay, nothing to interact with here. Can I reduce the sensitivity? Yeah, let's do that. Dragon Wing, hey there, good to see you. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, nobody's in room 429.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh, we're alone.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Is this the meeting room? Oh, I don't miss Cube Farms. Okay, that door doesn't open.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No narrator.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Surely that's it. Wow, what a mess.
It's going to force me back to the meeting room. Oh, no, we're in the lounge.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
What is going on? We can't interact.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Totally. Look, these are pictures, I'm pretty sure.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's
Gee,
possible
thanks.
that this is why everyone left. But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
All right, fine. We'll go to the meeting room. Wait, you said first open door on the left. But this looks much more exciting. I don't like listening to narrators when they tell me what to do.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Why do we have, like, road lights in a building? Can we go down here? Yes.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
Yes.
So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left.
Narrator's like, you get no more choices. You are going left.
No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Oh, thanks.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh, dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Oh, sure, yeah, take your time.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Are we leaving? Maybe I shouldn't have gone left in the first place. Look, following instruction, not exactly my strong suit.
No. This isn't right at all.
Cerebro?
We're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Perfect. Meanwhile, back in our office, we have not pushed a button in an hour.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what?
There's more doors now.
No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
No.
Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here
Yeah, but
somewhere.
you move the pages around.
Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Left? Okay. Hard left and... Inner guilt. Everyone knows what you did. They're just holding back to let you torture yourself. Ouch.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, here we go again. Yeah, I know. Now there's no
Okay,
doors.
yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay, sure. Still can't open that. Annie, hello, good to see you.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Hi, Marquand. Of course you get a hello.
No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so.
It's
I
plot.
can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
Thanks, narrator.
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might
Cinematic.
happen this time. I have to restart.
Now we get a yellow line.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Okay. Better follow the yellow brick road. Oh, we're turning.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of
guess.
moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
Sure.
Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on.
Where are you
That got
going
a bit
here?
weird back there? Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Wow, that is loud. That is too loud. Hi, not a V. Hi, puppy. And hello, memes. How are you doing? I don't have a jump button and cannot run up walls. Trying to follow the line. This was a very important meeting. This is the same one where you get like cartoon characters drawn on a whiteboard and you realize that this could have been an email. Okay, now the narrator is just getting revenge on us. Vibing while you package some orders? Sounds good. You remember that the narrator can be kind of silly in this? Oh, yeah. I was doing well. Now the building is changing around me, but this is fine.
Wait, cut the music.
Thank you.
Go back and look at that fern.
Oh,
Stanley,
okay.
this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
And it was promptly forgotten. What time is it? On we go.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. No,
Oh, yeah.
no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Didn't you draw the line, Mr. Narrator? Wait. How do we get to there? And I miss. Oh, we're back here.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
It sure did. All because we made one right turn.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story?
That sounds like a good plan.
Exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Okay.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Do I get to give you any input? I mean, wandering hallways, lost.
Oh,
That's not
no,
good.
not you
Oh,
again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the
7
line
right
from
answers,
having any
exactly.
role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Just don't acknowledge it, TM. I can imagine some animals and some humans attempting to actually make this path work.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse
The
door's
walking in
origin.
circles is
So
ridiculous.
starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Okay. The confusion ending. Find the confusion ending schedule.
Oh,
Narrator
what's
restarts
this?
the game. 5th restart. Narrator forgets about previous
The
restarts.
confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes?
After
It's
a long
all
time, Stanley dies.
determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped?
Oh.
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean,
I'm not
it's
quite
a
sure if
story.
we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Did we jump to a different part? Now there's no narrator.
All of his co-workers were
Oh.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, and there's
When
two
Stanley
doors.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, the narrator forgets about all the previous restarts. We've got a few more restarts and then we die. This is progress.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Tips for not
Stanley
getting
decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside of you. Take it out passive-aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Hello, Shri, and congrats on painting the roses. Hope you're doing well. Have you been blocked from commenting now? No? I sure hope not.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You can't comment ding 3 times. Ding, ding, ding. Interesting. It's coming through. It said blocked. Weird. It's not giving me anything, but I don't have a... This doesn't have like an auto mod review setting here. I think if somebody else was in mod view, maybe they have it. The executive bathroom. Shri, not on the Twitch side, on the TikTok side of things. It has its own separate moderation. Oh,
Stepping into his
boss has
manager's
quite the
office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so
Okay.
the boss had assigned it an extra
sent me the screen recording.
secret
Sounds
PIN
good.
number, 2845. But of course,
2845.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
No, of course not, because the narrator would never tell us such a thing. Keypad behind his desk.
Stanley
Where am I
just sat
looking?
around twiddling
right
his
here.
thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. We're following the narrator now. Another construction area and back office and a cage? Okay. Oh, that's it. Now, where did I leave my phone? Probably on the other side of the room.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This
Good question.
would not go unanswered for long.
Oh. Give me just a second to grab my phone. Locked camera, or are you calling me? Nope. Camera. Come back down here. Stay. Why do I not know where I left my phone? That's ridiculous. Nothing. Just if you see my purse, let me know. Just tell me, because. And I think I left it in my car. Oh, Nika, you want to come over? Your treats are still on the front porch too. Oh, she's getting petted. Piper's over in the living room seeing her, so she's like, I don't care what you're doing. Camera, there we go. So you think it's the first time in ages you've seen me live in the afternoon? It definitely has. Marquis says hi. She said hi also, although I don't know if you can hear her on the microphone. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, goody. More pathways closing behind us.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Of course he did. Can't quite read that. I guess we pushed the big light bulb button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Oh,
What
imagine
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did
No,
he
we've
have
been on
the
that bridge up
strength
there.
to find out.
Okay, we have a camera button. Finally, I feel like we're getting somewhere, and we didn't even die. Employee observation protocol. Yet. Thank you for the vote of confidence.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom
Fired.
meant nothing.
Fired. We were 427. Yep, that's our office. We get to give somebody a promotion?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
He had buttons to push.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay. Good question. Oh. We've got ads over on the Twitch side, but because we're also on YouTube and TikTok, we're going to keep going here today. I'm going to guess we're going to shut down the power because mind control status is offline across the board. I also like the idea that while we're busy pushing buttons on a computer in another room, there's a bunch of people in here pushing buttons to decide if we're happy or sad or angry or all of these other things. Basically all being controlled by the same thing. Okay, there was a 5 on the wall. Shri, you want to know how I am able to stream right now, and you thought I'd be too busy. So, one, I never made plans for tonight, for the 4th of July. It's one of those things like I could run downtown in Seattle, I could go over to a friend's house. I'm sure that I could find a barbecue to go to. My cousin has like $1,000 in fireworks because he wanted to buy a bunch of fireworks. So like there's places to go and things to do, but I had the most important task this morning. For those on Twitch, you know, Forever Julia.
The source of the room's power.
Oh, hang on.
He knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Okay, so we're gonna turn this off. But no, Forever Julia, a good friend and fellow streamer, was flying out, actually should be on a plane right now on her way to Japan. Her and her mom are headed over on vacation, and I took them to the airport this morning, and I came down last night because her mom actually needed to borrow a piece of luggage, so I ran over and gave them my large suitcase so that she could pack, and then pick them up this morning, took them down to the airport, and so I'm just home for a day. My goal was to do some laundry, pack up again, probably get on the road again, but I'm home for right now. So I was like, you know what? We'll do a little daytime stream while I'm here. And we'll turn off the power to the mind control system. And everything else.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
How very Talos principle on the ending here. Are there stairs? Okay, yes.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Yes.
And Stanley was happy.
Oh, good. Beat the game, complete the Stanley Parable, get your first achievement, awarded for getting achievement. That is ridiculous. And we're back in the office. Your comment about not dying yet?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
Seems
mean?
very
Stanley
appropriate.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
All right, back we go.
When
Take the door on the
Stanley
left.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
For not getting
disbelief,
fired. Talk less,
Stanley decided to
do
go up to his
unbelievably
boss's office,
amazing work
hoping
all
he
the time.
might find an answer there.
And we continue onward up to the executive's office.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet.
Is it going to still be
And so the
2845?
boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
I want a different combination.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay, we're on the same journey again.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, we're going to follow the path that says escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Are we in restart 8 or 9? I don't remember if we're supposed
The
to
door
die for the
behind
plot
him
now.
was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Well, yeah, it's a really long haul. Oh, yep. So that happened. Oh, we're still falling.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Or not. I think I like this new narrator.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
The nature paintings that we've seen on our walls. The office. I love that we're now in a test room. Oh, this is cool. So there's our office. And the path we took to get out. Reaching the point with the two doors. The set of the two doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. The office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Stanley's computer. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. Filing cabinets. The office computers. We've got installing Chart Pro 2.01 at 62%. Somebody playing a game of solitaire in Draw 3 mode. Okay. Classic Windows 3.1 there. And the employee database. Ooh, button sounds. A selection of sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Very fancy. Oh, and we've got the credits. Okay. So we're back to the office over here. The maintenance room, an early version of the maintenance room. Oh, sure, they haven't added the textures yet. Wait, is this her? Oh, no, that's the copier. I was like, is this our Fern? Whoa. Warzone? What? Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Amazing. Ultra Deluxe announcements. In December 2018, we announced the Ultra Deluxe version of the Stanley Parable at the Game Awards. These are screenshots of the videos we made for the announcement and the game's delay. Back in the break room. It would be fun. I feel like these developers might have had too much fun. From Marius. Subject. A question brought forth by the intense passion of my soul. Am I Stanley? Are you spying on me? What? Will the game feature capybaras? After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Wow. Dear Andrew, oh my god, I'm not reading all of that because it'll be gone before I get to the end of it. Okay. An early version of the lounge. That looks more like what I would expect it to be. The apartment timer. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone in time would lead to a different ending. The cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. Oh, thanks. The second version of the cargo lift, the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. The physical space makes no sense in here. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first two doors was important to get right since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately this was the simplest. It was the simplest version that won out. First choice, obey or disobey, lounge, maintenance, staircase. To the confusion ending. I mean, I'm pretty sufficiently confused now. The escape menu. The game is now paused. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Zending levers? These levers were originally part of the Zending. The player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe the color they had pulled. Oh, I can't pull the levers? Okay, fine. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Oh, well, then. It was complete, but then abandoned before launch. Of course it was. Monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down, and placed the two endings together instead. The freedom ending. Well, I'm glad that you updated that from the beta. Oh. Countdown desk. Are you not going to beep again? Game design mock-up. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that beginning the game again is the point that we're at. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first created in November of 2011, the second in March 2012, and the third in February of 2013. Okay, in the cube farm. Then the rest of the desk was added. Oh, and finally we have the scatter and the open filing cabinets. All right. Okay, let's go back. Follow the instruction we were given, I guess.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And hopefully not get the confusion ending.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Well, I never read this.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
The future was yesterday. Tomorrow is now. Tomorrow. Complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. Employee 417 to 405, 491 to 416, 431 to Jim. Okay, who moved my desk? Hire someone to synergize paper. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. This sounds very corporate.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay. There was a note on the board that said
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We haven't gone downstairs yet. What is downstairs? A locked door. A red light. Some packages. It's just an emergency light, just standard issue.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All
Only a
of my
little.
co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Yeah, we're just
And he
asleep.
thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Ooh.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
You don't have a narrator?
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply
question.
deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now,
Sure.
hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would
Just
prove
what?
it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
That sounds nice.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself.
And this
I'm
dream
through
where I'm
with
at
this
work.
dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
And then we open our eyes and we are in the exact same place.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Well, that's progress.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like.
Sure.
And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day.
Oh.
The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She
I
had no
see.
time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
She doesn't report it. She doesn't call for help. She's just like, I'm out. And we're back in the office. Oh. But the hallway is longer now.
When
And-
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay, let's not die in the basement
Coming
again.
to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul
same thing.
anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Wow. Thanks, narrator. This is exactly what I needed. What else does our boss have in their office?
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Can we go up? Nope, it doesn't care. It makes us push down. Okay. Sure, we'll go back to the TV room.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Considering that the escape path did not lead us to escape, sure.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yeah, I think he'll manage.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Yeah.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Something like that. No.
No. He refused to believe it.
They told us
He
there's
couldn't
another path
accept
up
it.
here.
His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
It would seem so.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
Oh.
Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
1, 2. We know where 5's at. Where are 3 and 4? There's 3. Four, where are you hiding? Okay, you don't have a way up, or not there anyway. Console disabled. Is there a jump or anything? Spacebar. That's what I thought. But it doesn't seem like we can actually jump. Button is definitely up there. I like the just constant tapping while we're in those menus. Still no way up. The stairs are blocked. How do we get in here? Or is it backwards, maybe? Okay, I guess we can try powering up the machine. You can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. Apparently, I had to hit
he found the source of the room's power.
I had to hit the jump
He
button
knew
a
it
lot.
was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Shri, you're asking, have I watched K-pop Demon Hunters yet? No, but I've heard Sammy talking about it, and I've heard that I need it to be on my list, so it will probably be watched soon.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
I mean, sure.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Oh, good.
How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You
Hey,
are
the
the
gate's
star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right,
sure.
I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley.
Activating.
You're in for quite a disappointment.
71.
But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first. So
Goodbye, Employee 427.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Wow. And just like before, death is meaningless and therefore life is meaningless, and we are back in our
All of
office
his
again.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Is this
When
just
Stanley
a series
came
of
to a
different
set of 2 open
endings?
doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What's over it? Sad panda. Going up. There's a voice whispering Stanley Parable in the song. Wow, we're going way up. Or it's a really slow moving elevator. People just leave papers all over this office. That's really not a good idea. Is it ever going to stop? Oh. And we're back where we started. Okay, what if we try the down button first? We can't pop panels out of the ceiling. Okay, so the elevator goes nowhere. It seems like we're going back and forth. You could say that.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Entering the wrong passcode does nothing. Okay, fine. We're making some sort of progress. The narrator is saying new things, so that must mean we're on a new adventure. Going to the same place to die in an entirely new way.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I suppose we can. Yes, Shri, you do have an
The
active
lights
sub
rose
right
on
now.
an enormous room packed with television
Over on the Twitch
screens.
side.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did
It's
he
probably
have
good
the
because you're
strength
probably
to
closing in on
find out?
another ad break. We have no other paths here.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant
Yes,
nothing.
over here. Right in the center of the screen. But nobody is at any desk anywhere in the building. There's some people fired, but everything is just empty.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this
It
the
would
only
seem
reason
so.
he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Well, perhaps.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even
No.
possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I mean, I guess.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy,
Okay.
or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Of course
After
I did.
they
I
kept
need
you
to find out the
enslaved
next
all
step
these
in this
years,
puzzle.
You go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Something.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example,
wait a
and I
moment
believe
here.
you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say...
About 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
2.
It's your time to shine. You are the star.
Button
It's
hit
your
pinkish
story
purple
now. Shape
4.
it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what
Pinkish
I had in
purple
mind.
4.
What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk
we
about
have
you,
1,
about me, where we're going,
2.
what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story.
There's only 2 of
Sometimes when
those
I tell it,
buttons.
I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you.
I thought there was a good
Running from
chance
button
of
to
it.
button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time
Press
you
any
fail.
key to send a power surge.
Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again.
Incorrect. 3.
And Stanley died again.
Dark blue 1.
And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
And darkness again. I was very confused. The live on TikTok was all of a sudden disconnected, and it was like, you need to verify that you're still here.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
We
decided to go to
passed
the
away
meeting room.
again.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I feel like I've seen this game at a later point, and I am very confused. Because where are we going?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
If we go to the left, we continue the cycle. We went to this
This
side
was not
before
the
and went to
correct
the
way to the
confusion
meeting room,
path.
and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I'm just passing through.
Wow. Yes,
This room is very nice.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
We didn't go in here before.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I approve of this. This is a different path. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty from jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000. Excellent. How many endings are there? That's a great question.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Well, of course.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
What?
Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Well, who is she? You're asking for her.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Narrator, no. That's why we played Slay the Princess. To prepare us for this step into the dark unknown? Is that what we're doing now? Ooh, we can open the door. Well, it doesn't go anywhere new, so darkness it is. Here we go.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Room 427.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
Ooh, fresh bread?
Right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Wow, narrator. Cutting too deep here.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Mm-hmm. Good morning, employee 427. Press X on your keyboard. We're at work.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
We will be right back. On the Twitch side, we've got ads running. We're going to take a couple of moments here, so we'll be right back here in just a minute.
Quote.
Reduced. Okay.
I'm gonna shove you.
Why did you shove me?
Oh!
You shoved YOLO?
Sage, please! They don't have hats! I have a hat! The enemies do not have hats, they just have skulls.
The enemies have red on them.
Yes, look for red circles, not purple circles.
I love that she announced it.
I'm gonna shove you!
Look at that stance, too. Just like, let's go, YOLO. Come on.
Range.
Heather, breathe. Heather, breathe. Don't laugh. Heather, breathe.
Ori, get out of the spikes. Shit. In a better place, yes, indeed. We moved out of the terrible boyfriend's place. We moved back in with our parents, got a fresh start, and now we're back on our own. And look, we've even gathered up a crate full of cables. We're truly an adult now. Okay, yeah, I turned off self-consent, so anyone can now spank Samsara. The things you say as a streamer.
We'll avoid walking into the lower spikes there this time. I think that would be a good idea. Oh. Spoke too soon.
Go and upgrade on it and fill it up.
Oh, I did not mean to do that.
Well, here's the cow catcher.
Throw it on.
Ryan, would you like a ride?
Dude, we are decked out.
Yeah, we are.
Get my shield back.
Careful. Avoid running over the gas pumps.
That's what happened.
This only did 1 damage. Oh no, it's gonna be more than that. Oh my god. So it's really loud in my ears tonight. And hi, Annie. This is totally not me here with all of my games and consoles and everything building up behind me. This game is so unrealistic. Who paints their minis? The box full of gray next to me agrees with that statement.
Let's unmute. There we go. Welcome back on all platforms. I know on TikTok it was just a black screen for a moment there, but everybody else had some sort of screen. TikTok's supposed to have a BRB screen, but that's when it runs through the other software that didn't want to cooperate today. Okay. I guess we continue. Press O.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Is chosen really a thing? Press C.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Please press L to watch TV. L.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
The thought excited him terribly.
Oh, did it? Press J to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Press B to prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Press Y to tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Of course. Press C to tell your wife that you love her.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly
wife
be?
Disappears.
In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Press Z to go to sleep. Z.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, The next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Press R to be at work in the morning. Okay, I won't push it. No button pushing here. None. You're not going to let me do anything else, are you? Until I push the button. You're going to force me to push the button because you told me that I would defy you and push the button. And so to make sure that that happens, you're going to give me no other option.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Why don't you give me a mirror? Press B to question nothing. I want to question everything. Let's press E. Let's press Y. See, narrator, I am listening to you. It just doesn't matter. The door won't open. The drawers won't open. I can't even answer this call that looks like it's on hold. I can't stick my finger in the pencil sharpener. Nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different.
Right, you're just a voice in my head.
I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Die.
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Wow. And then we died. And the world faded to black once more. And at the end, we are back in the office. This is ridiculous. So do we reach a point where it tells us we played all the endings? Or do we find another path? Is there a way out? Is the narrator right and we just keep trying the same thing over and over and over? The time's changed. It's no longer 5 to 11. It's now 11:20. Well, Stanley.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Okay. Sure. This way to new content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
You're the narrator, didn't you write this? Ooh! Hey, they had this machine in the Hitchhiker's Guide. It was Slarty Bartfasts. Are we going to go look at the fjords of Norway?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Oh, I'm sure. All it has to do is go somewhere.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Or...
You would think so.
Here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
All right, narrator, here we go. New adventures and stories. Starting with...
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
Oh, hey, the jump button's no longer disabled. 35 to go. You ever feel like a rat in a maze? Like you're just chasing a piece of cheese. And you don't even like cheese? The jump button is disabled again. Amazing. I wonder if I have...
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Well, I mean, what if I had not used up all of our jumps? Maybe then we could jump. Maybe then we could go now and jump off the,
Goodness. Another elevator.
Cargo elevator.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Okay, narrator. Keep these boxes dry. There's a chair for those who don't want to go on an adventure. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
It? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
I guess you won't give me a choice anyway, so it didn't matter what I had to say. Are we now in the model? What is going on?
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to
I
show
don't
you
wanna go in the vent.
something.
I'm good, thanks.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine.
Okay,
You're
fine.
a dork anyway, so who cares? Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
You dropping me to my death again? As I jump down the hole anyway.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Wow, some ancient ruins. Complete with office chairs. Okay.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it so much, Mr. Narrator. The Memory Zone. This feels awfully similar to what we saw before.
You see,
Memory, sweet
Stanley,
memory.
doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of
The Steam
2013,
page.
when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Our first kiss, my first car, the release of the Stanley Parable. The things that the narrator loves. The Memory Zone temp? So many postcards. They put a piece of masking tape to make it the Stanley Parable. 2014 Independent Games Festival Audience Award. And the Collector's Edition. Oh my gosh. That's like, the Teach Yourself in 24 Hours book series. Time Indoors Monthly, Shapes, Graphs, National Geographic, and Cargo Operator's Manual. Wow, with a Firefox start page. Good times. A trip down memory lane. Complete with the CD. Bits of music. Smile because it happened. Yes. An achievement. Go outside. Don't play for 5 years. Are these real awards? Or, well, those are nominations. I imagine that to get that one, you have to open the game again after 5 years of not opening it. Oh, I want to sit on the bench. There's a piano. Aww. Was he a hamster? little Stanley.
Dans la mémorise où je me remémore les jours où je t'ai rencontré, mon amour.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Well, narrator, I'm sorry to say, but if you want to play every game ever created, go with It Takes Two or Split Fiction, because, yeah. Oh, you've been presented another choice. The original or the Memory Zone Maintenance. Oh, we can't open it. Fine. Person of the Year. Off on the buttons in the mind control room. Are they actually working in CAD? Or 3DS maybe? Some old software. I guess 2013, yeah. And the end is never. The blue door and the red door, which we never saw. We never saw a smile button either.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game.
Wow.
9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need
Narrator,
anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Mm-hmm. The serious room. Except we can't get there.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait. Hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Not recommended.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Well, there's no shortage of reviews. Hey, here's a recommended one.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the
You'll be
Stanley
fine.
Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here,
okay.
We'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes
thanks.
and... Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not
Is the clock over there changing?
unendurable by any means, but there's really only so much I can ramble on
2:15?
to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really truly... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing?
You didn't water the
just
plants.
Talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press
Why
that
not?
button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness.
Well,
I can
that
feel
sounds
the
personal.
edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now...
Okay, that's enough.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest
I am sure that there is an
longing to
achievement
undo the
of
past.
just listen to
And when
everything
that
he
feeling
says
had
here.
begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment, and I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day
There's no
this state
door.
of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
And what is that? Silence? Because it let you finish your thought? Well, that didn't seem very long. Making you feel alone. You feel better now, narrator? That is irritating. Get me out of here.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, "Entertain us." It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, "He's talking too much," they said. "First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine..." the end, is never 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 the end.
Hi, narrator. Anything left of your sanity? How are you feeling? It must have been 100 years by now. There's a buzzing like there's a fluorescent light going, but there's no light except for the button. Making them going insane, accepting their eventual insanity. What's the difference? That's what they've been telling us, is that every path is already laid out before us. We can't really make a choice. It's only the illusion of choice. And even then, we're choosing to just go down the path that has already happened. So the narrator is already insane. This is the only reality that we can accept. Also, do they have a fireworks show in my area? Absolutely. So Seattle has one. They put a barge in the middle of Lake Union and launch fireworks from there. People gather at Gasworks Park to watch it. I used to go to my uncle's condo because he had a view of it. Some people go up and watch from some different parks around the city that are up on hills. And then all along the whole area, like traveling up and down I-5, each one of the cities kind of has their own fireworks show. Even like some small towns have one. When I was a kid, I used to go to one on the 3rd of July, which took place on a riverbank. And it was really fun because they were just across the river. And one year, somebody donated like 5,000 bottle rockets to them. So they just launched them all off as their finale. Instead of it being like this big fireworks show up in the sky, it was just little bottle rockets being launched on the side of the river. And, you know, my little country heart was very happy with that. All right, our building is falling apart. Shri, it was good to see you. In case I'm gone before you get back, enjoy your dinner. We'll see you again soon. Even if I don't know when it is. We'll definitely be back again. I've got a huge IOU list to get through. This was one of our games in our next games list, which is one of the things we have to get through. It's Sammy trying to make sure that I constantly have more IOUs and cannot stop streaming. Aww. Look at nature reclaiming this building. I love it. Well, nature had reclaimed the building. Apparently now the end of the world is coming. The walls still stand, though, even though the ceiling's collapsed. Okay, our skip button has fallen over. Has anyone seen Click? Wasn't there a lake and Hall of Memories out here? And some other things? The world truly has ended. I think we walk out from the point that we came out of the building. It doesn't look like it matters too much. We'll head towards this peak over here. See how far it lets us walk. Not very far. And once again, we are back in our office. Okay. I imagine that there's probably still some endings we have not seen, but I feel like this is a good spot for us to call it. It's now 4:30 here. We've been going for a couple hours on the TikTok side, so we're going to say a farewell to our TikTok friends first. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us and enjoying it here. Where did my end stream button go? There it is. All right. Bye, TikTok. Okay. Well, that is ending for those of us over on the other sides with the TikTok and the YouTube. I am thinking we will probably... Am I gonna wrap? Is that what I'm thinking? How long have I been live over here? Just shy of 3 hours. Usually we would go live for a full 3 hours. But given that this is a daytime stream, and that I have to repack my bags and get everything figured out here, I'm gonna go work on that. I also need to figure out, where did I leave my phone? I think it's in my car. I hope it's in my car. But I have to figure things out. And I have to get Piper back to her place in the next few hours. So everything kind of has to align from here on out to a specific schedule. So yes, this is going to be where we wrap it up. But thank you everybody for joining us today and hanging out. Those who were able to be here just for a few minutes or able to hang out for a long time, it's very, very appreciated. And I don't know for sure when the next stream will be. On the Twitch side, I have set vacation mode, so it will show that we are in vacation mode for the foreseeable future, at least through probably the month of July, possibly through the month of August, and we'll see what the future holds. Like I said, things are just up in the air right now, and life is doing life things that demand me to not be in this chair, in this room, at this computer, all that good stuff. So we will continue to post in the Discord, so definitely keep an eye on things over there. We're not going to raid out tonight, so I will just post this here. If you're not already in our Discord, join us over there. I do pop in still, we do post still, and I'm hoping to still be able to get some movie nights and some fun stuff going over there in the near future too. And also on YouTube, I believe this is going to post the current live, but head on over to YouTube. Drop a subscription on that channel, because we are posting our VODs as quick as we can. So we just published the finale of Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals today, and are going to continue to be publishing there, so you'll be able to see quite a bit more in the near future, because we've got starting up first is our playthrough with Samsara Dusty of Split Fiction. We've got Life is Strange to post. We've got so many games that we've played over the years, all the Final Fantasy games we've played so far, and more to come. We're going to keep on doing it. Might slow down the pace in a few months, but there's still hundreds and hundreds of videos to publish, and if I published a video every day for the next year, we would still not be through the backlog. So keep an eye on the YouTube stuff, because that is going to be where you're going to get the most content for the near future, while my schedule is as rocky as it is. And yeah, but I look forward to hanging out with you again very, very soon. And you can see in the Discord as well, the IOU channel, where I actually tell you what it is that I still owe chat, including things like a tattoo and a maid stream, the cursed maid stream. It's cursed, not because it's going to be a cursed stream, but because every time we schedule it, something comes up. Imagine. But no, I hope you're all having a wonderful summer. I hope that your June, your Pride Month, was fantastic. And I hope that your July is as good as it can be. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. All right, everybody. We're not going to raid out today. We're going to end here. So it's been wonderful to see you all. We will see you all again, hopefully very, very soon. Until then, bye.